Hey, what's up everybody? How you doing? I'm Jay Hollingshed, your personal high performance mindset coach and public speaker. Thank you so much for tuning in. My brother already tuning in. What's up, bruh? AJ Arthur Hollingshed, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in for another episode of my 7 Pillars of Mental Performance in 365 Days. Today is episode 199. Yes, we are almost at another milestone. Today is episode 199 of 365 consecutive episodes. Today is Tuesday, day number 3, in which we will be discussing pillar number 3 of 7. Pillar number 3 is entitled Focus and Concentration. Focus and concentration. Before we get into it, I got to give my thank yous to everybody that's tuning in right on time. My big brother AJ, Julius Williamson, I appreciate you for tuning. Julius Williamson III, I appreciate you for tuning in, brother. Also, my wife, Lisa Hollingshed, what's up, babe? I appreciate you. All of my front row seat people, I appreciate you. My season ticket holders, I appreciate you as well. This video can be seen in its entirety on my YouTube channel. It is this and all of my other episodes are on my YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure. So please like, share, subscribe. And if you're watching this on repeat, I thank you because you are a blessing to me. Thank you so much. Now let's get right into it. Focus and concentration. Now today I'm going to go over 3 focus exercises or 3 concentration exercises for the mind. There are 3 focus and concentration exercises for the mind. Now I got this information. This is not original information from me. The actual exercises themselves came from Remy's Session. Remy's Session, and that's the author. And I got it from a website called successconsciousness.com. Successconsciousness.com. But now I've observed something lately in my research and studies that there's an ongoing unofficial debate. And I'm saying unofficial because there has been no case studies on this. Nothing has been proven as of yet, but I'm trying to keep up with it. There's a debate that young minds are not as good as older minds, or the older minds are better than the younger minds. And what's being said is that younger minds are not as good as older minds because young minds grew up in the information age. And growing up in the information age, it is hard for the younger mind to unplug. Now, not necessarily unplug from the phone, which is the majority of it, because when you're plugged into the phone, you're plugged into everything else that society has to offer and throw at you as distractions. But younger minds have an inability to unplug from data. Younger minds have an inability to unplug from society. Younger minds have an inability to unplug from society and everything that society is thrown at us, at them as a form of a distraction. Now, that's plugged into the music, that's plugged into your cell phone, things of that nature. We've seen all of this. We've seen the videos of people walking into poles, light poles. Just YouTube it. You'll see people walking into light poles while texting, walking into fountains or ponds and water while texting, walking, almost getting hit by cars while texting. So it's hard for them to unplug. Now, the older minds are supposedly, quote unquote, according to this unofficial discussion, the older minds are supposedly better because the older minds grew up in basically the industrial age, or the age right after the transition between industrial and the information age. And in that era, the mindset is used to you didn't grow up with the smartphones. Okay, smartphones came about towards the end of the industrial age. So they didn't grow up with that. And it's more of a mindset to where they take time. They have more patience with things. There is instead of being bored, it's more so seen as them taking care of their mind by stopping and just smelling the roses. Okay, I'm getting information saying that okay. It was saying that I had a low connection. Now my connection is back. Please forgive me for that. Now, I left off saying that the older minds stop and smell the roses. That's how they take care of their mind. The younger minds see that as you're getting bored, but we stop and smell the roses. Now, however, at the end of all of that discussion between the young mind versus the older mind, there is something there's a statement that says that our bodies continue to evolve with our bodies evolve according to the values placed on the generation that we are in. So as a generation, each generation evolves according to the values and the needs of that generation. Now, so there's an ongoing battle going back and forth between the mindset and the focus and the lack thereof. Now, speaking of focus and concentration exercises, to keep from falling into the mindset of being distracted all the time, just like the younger generation, they said that being distracted has become the norm. So to keep from doing that, let me give you these 3 tips. Tip number 1, pick a book, any book. For those that are of the younger generation, you can use your e-reader, or you can use just a regular book. You know, younger information is like the data, so you can use that if it's hard for you to unplug. But pick a book and take a paragraph of that book. It can be a story, a newspaper, whatever. Take a paragraph, count the words of the paragraph. Just count the words of one paragraph. Once you're done counting the words of one paragraph, count them again, just to be sure, verification. Just count them again. Now, after you do that, think about how distracted you were by other things while you were doing that. Think about how or where your mind was when you were doing that. Where was your level of focus and concentration while you were counting the words and then recounting the words? Step number 2 of your concentration exercises to train the mind. Step number 2, or exercise number 2. It involves counting again, okay? So we're going to count backwards this time. Start at 100 and count backwards. Go from 100 to 1. Count backwards. All right? Now, when you do this, once you've completed it, think about how distracted your mind was by other things. If at all it was distracted. Where was your mind at? Was it on something else, or was it focused on the numbers? You're trying to make sure you don't skip a number. You're trying to make sure you hit all the numbers. Now, where your mind is at that point, you are totally immersed in what you are doing, totally immersed in the action of what you are doing. Your mind is not distracted. So you don't have that, all 5 of your senses were tuned in to where you're not being pulled in different directions. You have the ability to focus, the ability to control your concentration. Now, the more you do these things, the more you practice this over and over, the better you will be at your focus and concentration. And the better you are with focus and concentration, the more you are able to control your own thoughts. I mean, when you control your own thoughts, random thoughts are going to come into your head, but you'll have a greater ability to say, nah, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to think about this. I don't care how strong the temptation of that thought may be. Now, let's go to tip number 3 real quick. This is something that I did while in the parking lot. It was pouring down rain one day, and I was just sitting in the car in the grocery store parking lot. I was waiting for the rain to stop. The rain finally slowed down to a small trickle, but I stayed in the car a little while longer because I was kind of captivated by the raindrops that were just sitting on my window. And I looked at each one of them. Each raindrop was like a magnifying glass, but it depicted the world or the outside upside down. And each one of them kind of had like a different color depending on the way the light was showing through the raindrop. So that's what I want you to do. The next time you are out and you see raindrops on your window, you can be in the house, or raindrops on your car window. If you are not driving, check it out. Focus on that. Examine it. See what it is, what it does, what kind of view does it give? Is it distorted, or is it a colorful view? Do you see any colors of the rainbow in that drop? Once you focus on these things and practice doing these things over and over, you are honing your concentration and focus skills. When you do that, you are, like I said, you are better able to make decisions properly. You spend less time trying to decide and more time deciding and moving forward with your decision-making process. Last but not least, as I close out, I'm a big advocate of youth sports. Why am I a big advocate of youth sports? Because it takes the mind of the youth away from the cell phone. It detaches them from the phone. It unplugs them, because you can't play sports and be on the phone at the same time. So even as I was doing the mindset coaching for the volleyball club, Mentonet Sports, and I was doing the mindset coaching with them, and nobody had a cell phone, of course, because they were playing the game. They were learning the game, and they were learning more about themselves internally and how they interact with each other. They become more team building. They learn more team building skills. You can't learn team building skills on a cell phone. You can read about them, yes. Can you experience them on your cell phone? No. So those type of things can help you grow. So I'm a big advocate of youth sports. And so just a quick tip, if you have children, get them involved in youth sports, some type of activity that will detach them from their cell phone. And that's all that I have for today in episode 199 of 365. This is Tuesday, day 3. We discuss pillar number 3, focus and concentration. I am Jay Hollingshed, your personal high-performance mindset coach and public speaker. Before I leave, think about your day. You only made 2 things. You made an effort or an excuse. Which one dominated your day? Be well, stay blessed, and as always, through love, be a blessing. God bless.